Make sure you're not missing out on any tax deductions as a piano teacher. Let's get you all organized and ready to visit your tax professional. Hey, I'm Phoenix and I'm the Tattooed Piano Teacher. And this year marks the 10-year anniversary of starting my own piano teaching business, and I'm happy to say I've never been late on filing my taxes, but I have learned a thing or two about preparing for taxes throughout the year and about all of the deductions that I can include on my taxes. Stick around to the end. I'm going to share a very inexpensive tool that literally saves me hours at tax time. I'm going to be going through a list of deductions that I have found are relevant to me as a piano teacher. Some of these might not apply to you. There may be others that aren't on this list that apply to you. Remember, I'm just a humble piano teacher. I am not the IRS. I have no tax training. So take all of these with a grain of salt and go consult your tax professional. That's the best word of advice that I can give you. And if you click out of this video right now, just take that advice. Go hire someone who knows what they're talking about. I'm going to start with the obvious things and then work our way towards some of the more obscure, less obvious things. Okay, here we go. So possible piano teacher tax deduction number 1 is piano books. You're buying them for yourself, for your studio, you're giving them to your students. Any materials that you use in lessons can be deducted. Digital downloads, you're buying sheet music or resources, games on Teachers Pay Teachers, anything like that. Make sure those add up. I know they're just, $3, $5. Make sure you're keeping track of all of those online receipts for your digital downloads. Number 3, keyboards and accessories. You buy a new pedal, you buy a new piano lamp, anything related to instruments, that counts. Number 4, office supplies. You go through stickers, pens, highlighters, paper clips, anything like that, printer paper, ink. Make sure you keep track of all of that. And if you buy any prizes or incentives for your students, maybe treats for a recital, something like that, keep those receipts as well. As long as it's directly related to your studio, those can count as deductions. Again, check with your tax professional on all of these. Number 6 is event costs. So if you're renting a space for recitals or any other events that you are doing, make sure that you get receipts, invoices on those. Number 7 is travel costs. This could apply to actually traveling for work if you go to a conference or a workshop, but it could also apply to if you are a traveling piano teacher and you go house to house. There are a lot of regulations related to this one, so definitely make sure you go to the IRS website, figure out what mileage is taxed, all of that, or talk to your tax professional. Number 8 is technology. So laptops or iPads or anything like that that you are using in the studio can be deducted. Again, consult with your tax professional for the details on that. Number 9 is space rental. If you rent a space for your studio or your home office or home studio. Oh my gosh, I'm going to sound like a broken record. There are so many regulations on this one. So again, get a tax professional. My first few years of teaching, I was not able to deduct any part of my home studio. And the reason was because I used the space for personal activities as well. It was a kind of a dual space. And so my tax professional said it's not worth it. That would be kind of risky. It needs to be a space that is partitioned off and just used for the studio. So you might not be able to use your living room as a write-off as far as the square footage goes, but if you have a spare bedroom and that's where your office is, then maybe that would be, again, don't just take my word, talk to your tax professional. Number 10 is education. So if you're doing some continuing education, like some college level classes, a mentorship program, anything like that, even books or courses that you are taking to become a better piano teacher, definitely keep track of those. 11 is memberships. So I highly recommend becoming a part of your local piano teacher group. If you are paying dues for a membership like that, then that definitely counts. Number 12 is contractors. So if you are hiring someone to come in and teach a class, or you have another piano teacher that you are paying as part of your studio, then obviously those need to be kept track of. You need to inform the contractor how much you paid them and give them that form, and then you also keep track of that for your taxes. Number 13 is repairs. This is one that came up on my Clavinova a couple years ago. It gets a lot of mileage and it needed some felts replaced, and so all of those costs to have the guy come out and fix that was all part of the studio costs, all part of the business expense. Number 14 is advertising. So don't forget about any ads you run on Facebook or any sort of advertising that is paid. Even if you're just printing flyers or something like that, or business cards, those printing costs can also be deducted as a business expense. And number 15, subscriptions. So anything that you subscribe to, whether it be like an online platform that you use, it could be something like a piano magazine, anything related to the business that helps you be a better piano teacher or is used with your students can count as a deduction. The final one is number 16, any other fees. So this actually turns out to be a pretty big one for me, which is mostly like bank fees, credit card fees when customers pay me online. So make sure that any fees that are paid by your business for your business are also covered, whatever those may be. So I hope that one of those put on a little light bulb in your head, like, oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that. And if you think of any that I've forgotten, put it down in the comments. If you find this sort of behind the scenes piano teacher business content helpful, hit the like button and that will tell me to make more content related to this topic. And now let's just briefly talk about how to get organized for tax time, because it really starts January 1st is when you have to start keeping track of everything so that on the next January 1st, everything is already there for you. Do not go to your tax professional with a shoebox full of receipts. No, we're not doing that. Do not stress yourself out by waiting till the end of the year and then being like, okay, I gotta look through my Amazon orders. I gotta look through Sheet Music Plus. I gotta go down to my local music store and ask them what I bought. No, my friend, that's not the way to do it. If you take the time, every single time you make any purchase for your business, it takes less than a minute to enter it in, then tax time is just print the report. I'm ready. I go to my tax professional and she's like, this looks great. Okay, and the other thing, so you get into the habit of recording like every day, every time you make a purchase, then you gotta keep it all in one place. Okay, now MyMusicStaff is specifically designed for piano teachers and it's an all-in-one studio management system. Okay, so if you haven't heard about it, it's $15 a month and it will save you literally hours. You can do all of your studio invoicing, scheduling. You can even create a website through that. And then the beautiful thing, it keeps track of all of your income and expenses. One-click reports, it prints out, and you're good to go. Check out MyMusicStaff. I have a full review and a tutorial. All of that will be linked in the description. And I wish you the most stress-free tax season you've ever had. If not this year, next year. Okay, good luck.